Okay, ladies and gents, how we go? I missed maybe 3, 4 messages or so when it comes to the Astro download. I've been traveling. I got a fucking sty in the eye for all of you motherfuckers lying on me, which is the lower levels in the sense of the moon being in Gemini on this Astro download is duplicity. Okay, um, either with the duality of Gemini, it's like either you are lying or you are truthful. You either represent in this stage of your life the truth on the day to day because it's in the 6th degree about what your talents are, okay, as well as being honest about what your talents and your skills are or not. Gemini is that signal of where we learn in early childhood, okay? It's the honesty of a 7-year-old. And we've all met that 7-year-old that just be lying through their fucking teeth, okay? They just be saying shit because they know that if they said the truth, they would just get in trouble for putting their hands in the cookie jar. And then you have that 7-year-old who is super honest to the point where they tell you, I always feel like I say this a lot now, but they tell you, you stink, okay? And they're like, you stink. And you got that 7-year-old who just tells you the truth. But as an adult, we understand very well how to discern the difference between truth and lies. And right now, people you deal with at work, your coworkers, you can really tell and be accurate on, are they bringing you the facts, the truthful facts that are completely objective, separate from any false reality of this big picture, or opposite of Gemini being Sagittarius, like big picture, abstract ideas and thoughts. Right now, it's becoming very clear. Our mind is in a space where it's not being abstract. It is being very cold with the facts. All right. Because a moon in Gemini, I dated a moon in Gemini girl. And I talked to my aunt today, which is ironic. She has a moon in Gemini. And the first thing I told her is like, dang, that means, which is interesting, because her sister, my mom, has a moon in Leo. And I was like, dang, what's interesting is to think about how you can have the same mother, but that mother, the moon, could give you it can give a sibling of yours a different experience with that mother. A moon in Leo is very different than having a moon in Gemini and the relationship with your mother. So you'll recognize that your siblings would have received different treatment, not necessarily intentionally, but understand we all creating our own life path. So what's my point? My point is, I had a conversation with my aunt today who's also Gem Moon. And I was like, oh, your mom was crazy as shit. And then that really brought me to, because when a Gem Moon, your mom is crazy. If you have a moon in Gemini, I want you to comment down below and tell me your mom's not bipolar and watch me tell you to your face that you're lying. Because everybody's mom is bipolar, schizophrenic, talks too much, and just fills in a lot of details that are really completely irrelevant. So how does this apply for this astro download of other people? You are very clearly going to be able to see with your physical eyes, the moon being in Taurus, what you value and what you are absolutely worth, right? Taurus is money. The axis of Taurus on the opposite is shared resources, so other people's money. So you have to understand the relationship that this has with the north and the south nodes, with Gemini being 8th and 2nd house to Taurus, as well as because if you had a Gemini rising, you'd have a 2nd house Taurus and you'd have an 8th house in Scorpio. So this is like, in what ways have you been able to master and manipulate the resources of others? But on the opposite side, in what ways have you been able to do that because you have discovered the clear identity of your value, okay? Value being Taurus. My point behind this is you got to be very careful when people are lying on you. Okay, I'm going to use my Airbnb as an example. Airbnb, it is a resource. A lot of y'all have seen me in these videos talk about, oh man, I know that Airbnb is going to try to yank me because I spilled candle wax. Why did they send me a bill for like $480? I'm like, get the what out of here? Are you what? Are you what? And I knew they were going to try to do it off the jump. And you got to call people out. With Gemini, you have to actually speak. 3rd house, communication, the lungs of the zodiac, the truth. You have to speak the truth. And I spoke the truth in the middle, and I made it clear, because it wasn't even about what their charge is trying to do in Airbnb. Home, 2nd house, Taurus, a resource is a home where I was living with my resource. And I'm going to face duplicitous people, or all of us. But in this instance, is a live example. duplicitous people, people who are trying to fuck around and play games, like a 7-year-old little kid. You have to call them out on their lie. Think about when you have that 7-year-old kid in your family, and they call one of those lies, and you know very clearly, you're like, yo, that little boy lying. As an adult, you can see that. You could be like, yo, you ain't telling the truth. And you can also see it when they're innocently just distracted, and they maybe potentially made a mistake about something that they felt they had to try to lie their way out of, but you know already, and we know, and everybody knows that that's not the requirement, and that kid learns that lesson during that time. So right now we have Mercury that just went into Gemini, and we have to understand that it's going to soon go into, check my last video on the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, because I just put up a 2.5 hour video, and Gemini and Mercury is here. Before it goes into shadow, we can now at this moment see the truth. Okay, but we have to also understand that that truth will be ever changing. And if you don't really attach to what you see, what you smell, what you feel, all 5 senses, what you touch, what you sense, okay, and how it even tastes. I literally called the woman out on Airbnb off the rip, where she even threw the extra sarcasm in about when I asked, I said, look, I need to see receipts. I pulled the Virgo on her. I need to see receipts, because that little tiny coffee table in Mexico doesn't cost $90 alone. You charging me for stains that weren't there. She even set up a stage and poured like the wax she scraped off the table, she threw it on the ground as if I did that. When I cleaned it up off the floor, so it definitely wasn't there. So I was like, wow. She's trying to play with my character and the things that I value. One of the things that I value is the truth. And because I value the truth, I told on myself and I put it out there. I said, look, I spill wax on this. I want to take personal responsibility for this piece of property, Taurus. And I went there and said, oh, here's the truth. So you on Airbnb, you have the chance and opportunity to decline or pay a partial or pay the full. I put decline with a whole message on there, and thank God I sat there and helped build that case up front, because I knew they were going to play games. Real estate agencies and people like that, they always play games and try to get one up. And I told her right in the comments, it's like, wow, honestly, it's disrespectful. I'm disgusted and repulsed by you really staging the scene of my home. Okay, so I'm trying to apply this because of how things will start to rise and increase in prices. This is Uranus and Taurus, and this is one of the ways that as Pluto implodes, how Pluto in Capricorn will try to make sure that it gets to the height of the mountain so that it can survive on its collected resources over an extended period of time as it goes through its implosion and ultimately its fall, when Pluto in Aquarius starts to go ahead and take the rise, aka you, the people. You, individuals, as the people, noticing that the individual signs are Aries, we just went through that season. Jupiter and Aries starting a 12-year cycle, okay? Individual, I'm an Aries, y'all know this. Individual power against the collective. You, with your people, as an individual, in unison with the people, will be able to stand up against the powers that be. And one of the ways that's going to happen, what this transit is teaching you, is you have to speak about the truth that you value. If you do not, you will allow duplicitous acts to get over your head, and you cannot value anything less than that. So this is my Astro Moon message. This is PernellBobby asking you to like and subscribe. This one's short. I'm still on my recovery. I am officially in the U.S. I'm on the territory of the duplicitous. There's some other things that happen, and I'm just not going to talk about on the internet, because the truth does kill, okay? And the truth does cause issues, but only to those who are being dishonest. And my point behind this is this is not the time. Because with Taurus, has the real eyes, it has the ability to see that. And in 2 more days, when the moon is 0 degrees in Cancer, both 14 degrees will happen in the Mercury. The sun will be 14 degrees conjunct Uranus in 2 more degrees. And that's going to cause some real big shakeups, okay? Because there's also going to be Pisces at 14 degrees and one of these planets, which I do not remember, but this is actually a good thing. This is a moment of, if you are honest about what you see and the truth that you know, and you speak it out loud, you will essentially get paid. That's what this means. So if you're looking for that next cut, that next check, be honest. get paid for it on top of that. But also realize that if you were being the opposite, you will finally start to get those lickings, especially if you're the one dipping them out. Because you're noticing very clearly, I saw some emails from a whole old relationship involved, and I was like, wow, this person, Gemini, Mercury, and other placements, I'm going to leave them out, was a liar. And, you know, off the rip, I knew I felt something whenever this time frame was in my soul, in my chest, that this is wrong. And I had to call this woman on Airbnb today. This is wrong. You are literally trying to get up and over and aggressively. And you have to be honest and realize that Taurus is a sign in its low energy. It's greedy. So do not allow greedy people and personalities to go ahead and get over you and charge you for things that you know truthfully and honestly that you need to go ahead and stand your ground and speak up about that value. If you do that, you will get paid abundantly. I see you in a Cancer moon. I'm excited about that 2 more days from now. That's the one I want to talk about when I said it goes 0 degrees in Taurus, because now, Cancer, because this is the moment where you have the moment to really see what does being emotionally intelligent as an individual have to do with you before you start to interact with other people. 1111 on screen, claim it. Before you start to interact with other people and get into the interpersonal signs, we really have to take that truth that we discovered after embracing a new identity, feeling worthy about what that new identity is, now speaking the truth about who you are and what you do, okay? And then 4, not being allowing anybody to get over on you because you are emotionally intelligent enough to know the difference of when somebody is gaslighting you and making something seem like it's not. Behind the scenes. I thank you all. Check the last lunar eclipse. May 15th to the 16th. That video is out. Live wasn't going on. Check in with the comments on the live chat. And go ahead and drop that Gemini sign if you know another Gemini moon and they bipolar and crazy as hell. Especially their mama.